6 bankruptcies. I mean,
no,
look, people make mistakes in business. If you're not making mistakes, you're not really a businessman. Like, there's no question. I get it, right? And I'd cut him I'd cut any business person a lot of slack for, you got a bankruptcy, you got 2 bankruptcies. It happens, brother. 6? He's never had a successful business. Trump steaks, Trump water, Trump casinos. You can't name a successful business. He bought an airplane company. He put gold seats in an economy airline and immediately went bankrupt. He's terrible at business.
In today's video, Cenk Uygur absolutely destroys Patrick Bet-David in a heated debate over Trump's endless business flops, election lies, and his obsession with power. This showdown shows just how easily Cenk dismantles Patrick's tired defenses of Trump with facts, logic, and zero hesitation. Whether it's failed casinos, fake electors, or total disrespect for democracy, this debate makes one thing clear. When it comes to arguments, Cenk came prepared, Patrick came to get embarrassed. Let's watch Cenk Uygur tear through Patrick Bet-David in this brutal must-see debate.
But look, if you say it's personal, well, number one, it isn't, because I'm giving you nuance on both sides, okay? But having said that, look, it got personal when he lost the election in 2020 and said, screw it, I'm going to try a coup. I'm going to do these fake electors scheme. I'm going to try to rob America of its democracy just so I can stay in power. Screw that guy. And if any of you are voting for that guy who's totally un-American, who betrayed this country, you're nuts, and he won't ever leave office. He's a wannabe dictator. He always praises dictators, whether it's Xi in China, whether it's Kim Jong-un in North Korea, Putin. He's always saying, oh, they get all the applause when they walk in. No one is allowed to disagree with them. And then freedom, my ass. He hates freedom. He wants to take away everyone's freedom so that all the power goes to him, okay? So, no, Pat, look, you can...
I'm not laughing at you. It's entertaining what you're saying, and
it's 100% true.
I can see... Okay, so let me ask you a different question. Who do you trust more, him or Biden?
I don't trust either one of them. It's not about trust.
Fair. Okay, so who do you see more? If your choices are the 2 guys right now, are you going to sit this one out?
Oh, no way. I'm going to vote Biden. Because I want another election. Okay. If you put Trump back in charge, there's at least a 50% chance we're never going to have another election.
So let me ask you this other question. To the people who, when Hillary lost, you've seen that clip when Hillary lost. It's one of the greatest. Bill Burr said it best when he was on Conan O'Brien. He says, look, man, forget about the Olympics, Russia, U.S., forget about, the home run, forget about this. He says, dude, this guy beat Hillary Clinton. It's like the people lost their minds, right? What did Hillary Clinton do for 4 years? You know what she did. She went around campaigning around what? They stole the election. They stole the election. They stole the election. And we...
What do you mean before, Pat? Before she was doing it with all that bullshit.
Yeah. But they didn't say that he physically stole the election. There's a giant difference. Saying, oh, boo-hoo, which she did, of like, oh, the Russians interfered in the election, which, by the way, they did, but not enough to make the difference, okay? But... that's just crying after your loss. Whereas Donald Trump had a scheme of fake electors to do a goddamn coup.
So I got to follow up.
Hillary did not do
that.
I can't stand Hillary.
And she did actually concede.
Wait, hold on.
She conceded.
So, here's my question, Cenk. So let's say you are Trump. You legitimately win the election. Hold on.
Don't use the word legitimate.
Time out. You won in 2016. You find out all these years later with the Durham report and all that shit that not only did Hillary help set up lawyers, the dossier, everything. How can you blame somebody for not trusting the FBI or everything in 2000?
That's a good question.
I wouldn't trust anybody.
Okay, so look, when he asked for a recount, I said, hell yeah. When he asked for a hand recount, I said, hell yeah. Why? Progressives have been asking to verify elections for decades now. Right? But when some Bernie supporters back in 2016 said, oh, no, Hillary stole the election from Bernie in the primaries, I said, look, when you're talking about how they set up the debates, how they funneled money from the donors through the state Democratic parties, that's true, okay? But if you're talking about evidence of rigged elections, you have to come with frickin' evidence. And our side didn't. So I said, no, I don't care how angry you get at me. Hillary Clinton did not steal the votes in those elections in the primary in 2016. So when you get to Trump, if he says, hey, I want to recount, great. But they did. They recounted 3 times. They did hand recounts. Then they went to court 60 times. And guys, this is definitive. he couldn't present one piece of evidence. He had 60 shots at it. You know why he couldn't present one piece of evidence? Because there is no evidence. There is no evidence, and he knows it. He made it up from day one. He's a giant liar. He's always been a pathological liar. And he came in and was like, oh, I don't like losing. I don't like losing. I don't like it. Boo-hoo. Oh, I think they stole it. They made up 7 million votes. Hugo Chavez, they blamed the Kraken, all these insane donkeys or mules or whatever the hell. Get it out of here. Hey, all of MAGA, show me one piece of evidence in court, not BS. Oh, I said it on TV, doesn't that count? No, all you ever do is lie on TV. All the politicians lie on TV. Go to court, show the evidence. Until then, shut up and stop trying to steal elections and stop hating America. America's about elections, it's about democracy.
You know what's wild? He really thought people were going to believe this stuff. Like Hugo Chavez, the Kraken, he said they stole 7 million votes. From where? How? And you can tell even he doesn't believe it. He just hates the fact that he lost. That's what this is really about. He can't take an L. Cenk's right here. They counted the votes 3 times. He went to court 60 times and couldn't bring a single solid piece of evidence. Not one. And this man still went on TV every day yelling fraud, trying to convince people that democracy failed just because it didn't go his way. That's not leadership, that's a tantrum, and the scary part is how many people went along with it. They didn't need proof, they just wanted someone to blame, and Trump gave them that. With lies, with nonsense, with made-up conspiracies. It's not just dangerous, it's pathetic.
So by the way, I will say this to you if you could. I will say this to you. So you're right when it comes down to if you think the other person is guilty, show the proof and go through it. That's the whole thing with innocent until proven guilty. Totally get it. But bro, mainstream media ran for 3.5 years that Trump, Russia, all that stuff. I'm not saying you. I'm saying mainstream media ran against them 3.5 years every day. This guy thought Russia got him elected. I mean, people that we know, smart guys.
But brother, mainstrein media hates progressives. They've destroyed our movement.
I'm not.
Am I saying, we won the election?
But I said to you, I said not you. I said not you. I said mainstream media.
But my point is, Pat, you got to play the playing field. That's true for me. That's true for Trump.
Sure.
Right. So yes, mainstream media hates him. Yes, they did propaganda against him for 3.5 years. But that's the playing field, right?
Totally get it. No, it's totally fine. They have the edge. Listen, Republicans, if they want to have that, go buy some media companies and compete directly.
Yeah.
Musk is buying Twitter. Great. Go at it. Play your game if you're going to do what you're going to do.
And Murdoch influences elections more than anyone else.
Murdoch is right now more at a whole different place. He's not a Team Trump guy.
Anymore,
you know that, bro. He's not. But where I was going to this, the following. Okay. So the part for me that got confusing was the following. Okay. Do you remember during COVID, I had a lady named Judy Mikovits on who used to work with Fauci in 1980s with the AIDS thing. Oh, my God. It was like, boom, 2 million views taken down. Short clip, strike. What? Okay, let's interview this other guy. Boom, strike. Okay, all right. Boom, strike. They took like 40 of our videos down during COVID. And we kept doing the interviews, and we were not like, well, this is 5G. Remember the whole 5G thing? Like, that fizzled out very quickly. Everybody thought it was a 5G. But there was a community that was like, well, this is what's going on. Here's what they're doing. This is what they're doing. Okay, cool. We're like, all right, let's kind of take a look at to see what's going on. Election claims. Yeah, this is what they did, the drop and okay. Yeah, election fraud has been going on for a long time. Okay, this ain't anything new. It was something known for Democrats that would do a lot with John F. Kennedy, Dewey, all this stuff, and it's been going on for many, many years. Great. Okay, they're doing that. But if you put up any clips disputing it, guess what? You were getting strikes, and they were taking those videos down. Then 2-3 months ago, YouTube comes out and saying, moving forward, we're no longer taking those videos down. They can stay up, okay? Why would YouTube do that? Why would YouTube not allow it for 2.5 years and all of a sudden YouTube, can you pull up that clip when YouTube changed their guidelines on election claim or whatever? Like, no, moving forward, we're not going to take it down and we're changing our guidelines for it. So I'm not saying one or the other, but did YouTube behind closed doors, are they worried about a Twitter files coming out? Are they worried about, YouTube changes policy to allow false claims about past U.S. presidential elections. YouTube will stop removing content that falsely claims the 2020 election or other past U.S. presidential elections were marred by widespread fraud, errors, or glitches, the platform announced Friday. This is what, AP News? Less than 2 months ago. It's exactly 2 months ago, is when they put it up. Why would they do that?
I have a good theory.
I'm curious. I want to hear your theory why they would do
Yeah,
that.
because now every Republican believes it. Like 8 out of 10 Republicans believe it. So what are they going to do? Ban every Republican? So I think they got to a point where they're like, we give up. Every right winger believes this nonsense that's totally made up. So we can't ban all the right wingers. So we just got to let them say it.
How much of it is, well, these guys on Rumble are kind of picking up some
Not
steam.
really. Rumble
No?
sucks. It's got no steam at all. Steven Crowder's career is dead. Everybody who's on Rumble's dead.
Steven Crowder's career is dead.
Of course, he went to Rumble. 3 people watched there. That's a terrible mistake. He should have taken the Daily Wire deal. I forget politics, right? Daily Wire offers him $50 million. He could have stayed on YouTube. He would have been relevant and had more money. It was a disastrous decision by him. Look, I'm happy to be wrong. If it turns out Rumble does great going forward, I'll come back and say I was wrong. But I'm
Who are
telling you,
the top
anybody who
guys
goes
on Rumble right
gone.
now? Obviously, Fresh and Fit is on there. Sneako's on there. Not that
I
they're
mean,
in the
look, you'll
political.
find 2 or 3 people who are getting views, but on YouTube, the whole world is getting views.
Right.
YouTube is taking over the planet, and that's part of why they're doing this, because they're like, what are we going to do? Not allow any right wingers on YouTube? But if you guys say they're a little worried about competition, fair, no problem. I'm sure they considered that their business.
This part really shows how twisted things have gotten. Patrick's out here acting like the biggest threat in the world is YouTube taking down videos. Meanwhile, the guy he defends tried to block reporters, shut down media access, and fill the government with loyalists who only say what he wants to hear. That's not fighting for, quote, free speech. That's just control. And honestly, Cenk's right. These guys don't care about facts or fairness. They only scream censorship when it's their side getting flagged. When Trump was banning journalists and threatening to jail people for doing their job, where was the outrage? And now they're mad that YouTube used to remove conspiracy videos? Come on. The only reason they're changing the rules now is because so many people have been fed so much nonsense that platforms literally gave up trying to keep up with the lies. What this debate really shows is simple. One side is actually arguing with facts. The other side is trying to win by spinning reality into whatever they need it to be. Anyway, that's my take. If you made it this far, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and let me know in the comments, did Patrick make any decent points here, or did Cenk just wreck him start to finish? I'll see you in the next one.